And welcome to another episode of the SKTLs Weekly Volunteers Call Community Space Crypto Meeting. There's a Nazi in the house. What do you know? He's back.
Hey, Nazi.
Yes.
How was the traveling? How was it? Were you in Turkey? Is that where you went?
Yes. Well, not as pleasant as I expected it to be. I had a really terrible cold for like 3 weeks out of 6. Even a little longer than that. And I thought it was COVID initially, but I was COVID negative, so that was not a problem. But my wife didn't get it from me, but on the way back on the return trip, the day after, she came down, with exactly the same symptoms. So, as I said, it wasn't as pleasant as I thought it would be, but after 4.5 years, it was still okay.
Yeah, good to get home, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just actually sent the August 7th through September 6th rewards to Piper. So we'll meet and then we'll finalize it. He already did his, so we'll compare, our results.
Good. I took a look at his a couple of weeks ago and I thought it looked right, but I figured we would wait for you to come back before we sent it to Daniel to give out the SKTL rewards to existing shareholders for the space events this month. So a couple of items we might want to hit on. Let me pull up the first one. Here we go. Company, here, I will share this screen. Oh, here we go. Present. Man, I got too many windows and tabs open. Where's the news? All right, I'll do it a different way. Hold on. Okay. Now I'll share this. I'll go entire screen. That'll work. Share. So, well, that looks cool. All right. Company faces first ever U.S. fine for turning space into a trash can. For all of us SKTL believers, the whole point of the SKTL space cryptocurrency is to fund companies, kids, ideas, countries, whoever has ideas and methods to clean up space debris. We once a year donate tokens to them. And this, the FCC is going to start fining people for sending satellites up and not getting them to deorbit safely. One of the things that SpaceX's Starlink does very well is make sure that they build their satellites with the ability to move and the ability to deorbit safely and burn up in the atmosphere, so that they don't create more space junk. There's a whole thing called a Kepler syndrome, which is the idea that eventually, if we don't clean up space debris, there will be too many particles flying around there at 17,000 miles an hour, hitting into satellites and spaceships and space stations and causing more debris, feeding upon itself in a very vicious cycle. And eventually we won't be able to get to space, won't be able to go to low Earth orbit, much less the moon, much less Mars. This is, it always drives me crazy when the government comes up with plans to subsidize people who don't do the wrong thing, like carbon trading credits. If carbon's bad, punish the people who put too much carbon into the world. Fine them. You don't reward companies who don't put carbon into the world with free welfare subsidies in order to keep carbon off from being created. I mean, it's just another scam, frankly. It's not even a real marketplace. So it's not a free market solution. It's still just government largesse being transferred from taxpayers to some other entity. So, I think it's great to see that the FCC is fining people for such things. I'm going to turn off that stop share there.
Cody,
yeah, interesting development. Go ahead, Sanatsi.
I posted like about half an hour, about an hour and a half ago, a link in our Slack channel, and Dish Network has been actually also penalized.
That's the same one. That's
the same one. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's it. Dish Network that was penalized from the FCC, and finally, the FCC is going to punish people, companies, countries. I don't know if the FCC has the purview of punishing countries.
$150,000.
$150,000, not exactly. Let's call it chump change. It's chump change for Dish Networks. Dish has struggled. That stock has been demolished. Most of the old school space companies have been demolished, including Boeing. SpaceX is now the most valuable aerospace of any sort of aerospace. That's what you told me yesterday. SpaceX now $147 billion market cap. Private market is where it's been valued recently, though, $140 to $150 billion. And Boeing is the second largest aerospace company on the planet. Not even just space companies, but aerospace companies. Boeing market cap, what is it, Bryce?
Yeah, it's actually Honeywell, then Boeing.
Oh, Honeywell's bigger than Boeing now?
Yeah, 121 billion, and then Boeing at 112.
There you go. 121 for Honeywell and 112 for Boeing. Welcome to the new revolution, the new space revolution. Speaking of the new space revolution, last week I was not here because Wednesday last week I was on a panel in Albuquerque at it was an innovation event, Albuquerque, New Mexico Innovation Society kind of thing, getting together. Ingenuity is what it was called. And it was fascinating. Number one, it was exciting to see the number of space companies that show interest in New Mexico. It is amazing how many PhDs per capita New Mexico has versus other states. Los Alamos, New Mexico is the highest per capita PhD population in the world. 19%, let's round it up, 20%, 1 in 5 people in Los Alamos, New Mexico have a PhD. The amount of I never thought about the amount of, I lived in New Mexico until I was 24 years old. I moved to New York for 15, 16 years. I moved back here when I was 40, and I'm now 51. So I've been in New Mexico for combined 35 years of my life, and it had never dawned on me just how much government-funded research and technology is developed here in New Mexico. You have Sandia National Laboratories, you have Los Alamos National Laboratories, you have the Holloman Air Force Base, you have, what's the one in Albuquerque? I can never remember, Bryce. Kirtland Air Force Base. The Space Force has a huge presence at Kirtland. The Air Force Technology Arm has a big presence in Kirtland. These days, we have what's called Q Station in Albuquerque, which is a really neat place that is pretty much open to the public. You have to go register to go in there, but students from the University of New Mexico, business leaders from Albuquerque, Space Force and Air Force people all show up at Q Station on an average day. I've taken Bryce there several times, and you go in and you just mingle with space people. You learn about space, all kinds of space things. I will mention that next Wednesday on our Skytles Volunteers call, we will have one of the companies I met there, it's now called New Space Nexus. It used to be called New Space New Mexico, and they rightly recognized that New Mexico, its New Space could be bigger than just New Mexico. So they've changed the name New Space Nexus. But we will have them here next week presenting for 15, 20 minutes, telling us all about their approach to funding space companies and innovating in space. So it was great to see Albuquerque rallying around technology and space, and the idea that what they're trying to do at these events, and I've been going to these, probably once a quarter for the last year, and they're trying to make it, that Albuquerque is a space hub, a space innovation hub, a space company hub. I went into the event when I sat on the panel. I wore a nice suit jacket and jeans, but underneath my suit jacket, instead of a nice shirt like this, I had a picture of Bill Gates' mugshot from when he lived here in Albuquerque. See if I can pull that up. See Bill Gates mugshot. Images. There you go. Now I got to come back to this and share my screen again. See if I can figure it out. Present, share screen, Bill Gates mugshot, share. Ha! Yeah. So I had it. I'll show you the T-shirt. See, you just go to Amazon and order the T-shirt. Even says Albuquerque. And what I told everyone there is that, look, if Albuquerque was good enough for Bill Gates and Microsoft to be founded, I don't know if you guys realize this, Sanatsi, you probably know this. Albuquerque is where Microsoft was created. MS-DOS, the company that created MS-DOS, was in Albuquerque. Bill Gates was going to Harvard. He dropped out to move to Albuquerque to go take over and buy MS-DOS. You knew all that?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know if you knew the Albuquerque connection. I figure you don't care about Albuquerque. Nobody does. Biggest problem with Albuquerque, and then I'll move on. Nobody watching this cares about Albuquerque, but I'll tell you, the biggest problem with Albuquerque is chicken and egg problem here. Albuquerque is not safe. It has gotten worse. I went to college there in the 90s, and Central Avenue was never very nice. A little bit scary. It's sketchy at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday morning when you run over to the Frontier and get a coffee and a cinnamon roll or a breakfast burrito with green chili in it. Delicious there. Mexican combination plate at Frontier is one of my favorite meals of all time.
Yeah.
But anyway, it wasn't safe back then on Central down by the university, but all of Albuquerque's gotten scarier. There's like shootings in random movie theaters and things, and people leaving the AAA baseball game. Used to be the Dukes, now they're the Isotopes. Terrible name change. And I don't even think that wasn't like a social awareness justice thing, was it? They changed the name Duke. Was it because the Dukes were
I think it was
conquering? I'd be okay with it if that's the reason why, but I think they just did it because they thought Isotope was a better name.
Yeah.
Huh. At any rate,
Cody,
not safe, and we need it to become safer to draw technology companies to Albuquerque, but I'm not sure Albuquerque will become safe until we draw technology companies to Albuquerque. It's chicken and egg. Go ahead, Sanatsi.
So most PhDs, is that per capita?
Per capita, Los Alamos, and certainly, yeah, New Mexico's got 1.5 million people or something in the whole state. Like the Bronx borough probably has more people than all of New Mexico. And so, no, certainly New Mexico does not have the most PhDs, but it's up there per capita. Yeah.
All right.
It is a great place to live. I love New Mexico. Albuquerque's got to figure some stuff out, though. Anyway, next week we will have Albuquerque-based space people on the event, and I'll say nicer things about Albuquerque when they're here.
That would be great. Yeah.
The name
So,
that's right. The
Could I-
isotopes. The name of the
it's not off
isotope came.
topic.
Wait, so Nazi, the name Isotopes for the baseball team in Albuquerque came from a Simpsons episode. That's right. It's a joke where, what's the dad? Homer works at a nuclear facility, and they made a joke that they were going to change the name of Albuquerque's baseball team to the Isotopes. And I forgot about that, Bryce. That's a terrible reason to change the name. Yeah.
It's like Tier C changing its name because of a radio show.
Yeah. You guys ever heard of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico? It was a TV show, I thought, Bryce.
The TV show, yeah.
All right, so Nazi, what else did you want to say?
Well, maybe it's off topic, but Piper and I talked about this, a few weeks actually before I left for Turkey. So our founders, pretty much majority of them are absent from our meetings. So that's not good. I don't know what we can do.
I can just invite everybody. Daniel, everybody will show up if we ask them to. We just, they don't need to be here every week, do they, Sanatsi?
Maybe not every week, but at least, maybe once a month.
All right, no problem. I'll get Wayne, Daniel. There's 5 or 6 other people that would be happy to show up. Even Margarita. I bet Margarita would be happy to stop by and check out how SKTLs.
Well, the next week would be, for instance, if next week would be good because we have presenters, and it would be, I guess, good to see founders, most of them. And the other thing is that could we add Dan to the advisory council?
Sure. Oh, Dan Geraci, we'll ask him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can do that. That's a great idea. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That was the other thing that I thought.
I think everybody enjoys listening to Dan Geraci talk space and business and anything he decides to talk about. It's always interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
And no, that is much more on topic than the name change from Dukes to Isotopes of the AAA baseball team in Albuquerque. That was off topic. Yeah.
And the other, this is more off topic. So I really enjoyed your post today about the ChatGPT you sent. So that was I have to admit, that was the first time that actually I found, the context is really interesting. So I'm talking about what you guys posted. And so is this what you played with, experimented with? Is this with the paid version?
Yeah, it is. Bryce and I both pay. I pay for his, it works for the company and stuff. Our company pays for 2 ChatGPT subscriptions. What is it? $20 a month, Bryce?
Yeah. Okay. So
I probably should pay for it because I bet I've used ChatGPT once in the last 4 months. I use Bard occasionally, but I don't really do, I study AI all day, every day. What Sanatsi is talking about is Bryce and I sent out a trade alert? Just a note to Train with Cody, full of analysis and talking about how ChatGPT added the image thing today. Bryce, can you share your screen, Bryce?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's show everybody what we're talking about. Show the picture, show the ChatGPT analysis of the image of your great grandfather over here on our wall. So Nazi, he thought it was cool earlier. I was almost mad at Bryce for not telling me that he had this whole other discussion with ChatGPT about this image. Does it let you share, Bryce?
Yeah, I'm pulling up.
Here we go. Here we go, yo.
You see it?
No. Oh, I got to add to stage. There we go. So Bryce took a picture of this picture that Bryce's grandmother gave me this image, this framed picture, and that is Bryce's great great grandfather, right, Bryce? Yeah, this is my mother-in-law's great grandfather. This picture is real. He's not like posing. He was going somewhere in New Mexico in 1880 something or early 1900s. Bryce, when is this?
I don't know exactly.
Early 1900s call. So then he said, estimate. He told ChatGPT, estimate the error of this photo. Show him what it said. The subject of the photograph appears to be an older man dressed in what we can consider as clothing as late 19th to early 20th century. The style of dress, along with the details such as the bow tie and the vest, can be associated with the late 1800s and the early 1900s. The presence of the horse with the harness suggests a time before widespread use of automobiles, further placing the image in the late 19th to 20th century time frame. The quality and the style of the photograph itself being black and white and showing certain details and clarity, while others appear grainy, suggest older photographic techniques. The signature and handwriting at the bottom of the photo, although difficult to decipher, seems to be an older style of script, which also supports the aforementioned era. So then Bryce says, great. Any idea of the location of the photo? It's going to be hard to tell, but it's saying it's probably American West. I thought you said somewhere it said probably New Mexico. There it is. Given the potential clues in the photo, regions such as Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado, or even parts of California might fit the visual cues. Go back to that image, Bryce. Look at this thing, man. First of all, is that not a cool picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I got it over here on my wall. It's right there. It is so cool. And the fact that ChatGPT could analyze and figure all that out is just mind-blowing. All right, Bryce, while we're on your screen, Bryce, create a new chat.
Okay.
Ask ChatGPT, explain the space debris crisis and give us potential solutions for it, including the use of a cryptocurrency solution. What do you think, Sanatsi? It's going to have an idea? It's going to come up with SKTLs? Here we go.
I think so.
Space debris, also known as space junk or space waste, refers to defunct human-made objects in Earth's orbit, including spent rocket stages, old satellites, etc. Issues arising from space debris are potential collisions, satellite operations being affected and interfered with, future space missions. As I mentioned, this probably the single biggest threat to the space revolution is us not being able to go to space because of space debris. Economic implications, we clearly need the satellites and GPS to keep our economy going in the way it does these days. Potential solutions: active space debris removal, passive space debris removal, better satellite designs. That's where Starlink comes in with satellites that automatically deorbit. Improve space traffic management, international regulations and standards like the FCC finding dish networks. The cryptocurrency solution. Let's see what it says. Decentralized space traffic management. Now it's not going to help. Incentive mechanisms. There we go. That's SKTLs. It didn't come up with the name.
Yeah. And then smart contracts for space operations.
Smart contracts and funding mechanisms. There you go. Another one, right? Like, I guess not an ICO, but we did a blockchain-based, not fundraising, but blockchain-based donations now. We, like the cryptocurrency, the SKTL cryptocurrency is worth almost a penny each. And, we donated $100-something thousand to 3 different recipients this year. What'd you type in next, Bryce? If we use the incentive mechanism, what would you name it? Be creative. Orbit coin, debris token, clean sky token, space with these are not as clever as SKTLs. Astro Aid coin? That sounds like a virus. Nebula note.
I kind of like celestial credit.
Yeah, there you go, celestial credit. Bryce, you have all the celestial credits you need from me, bro. I give you all the celestial credit in the world.
What? Well, I guess the next prompt maybe. What do you know about SKTLs?
What do you know about the SKTL space cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
It might predate. ChatGPT's got a cutoff date.
That's true. That is true.
It doesn't have it.
January. Okay. Yeah. Ours was May
2022 when we released this.
Yeah, when we released it.
Yep. So it does not have it. Cool.
Yeah.
So ask it what it knows about Cody Willard. Ask it what it knows about Sanatsi Bilsal.
Probably.
He's a legend, man. He's like
no, not much.
It's right there, Brian.
There is not much actually.
Oh,
BILSEL.
SINASI.
BIL. Yeah, that was correct.
There you go. BILSEL.
Yeah. I don't exist in the
You watch the Nazi, it's
picture.
going to know you.
Probably not.
Oh! I used to be almost famous, so it actually does know who I am. And it brags on me. It makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bryce. Let's make me feel good. Go ahead.
I don't exist in social media, so
I'm like irreverent. Television and media. Yeah. Writing. I've written a million things. Wall Street Journal and Market Watch. Trading with Cody as a platform. Career. Wait, where's the, there we go. Sometimes contrarian views. I like it. I often present a different perspective than mainstream financial analysts. Well done, ChatGPT. It's essential to remember that, like all financial analysts and commentators, Cody Willard's views are his interpretations. But is he very funny? Not really. That's just subjective, and it knows it.
well, if you actually Google my full name, you'll get more hits. And I think last time when I did, it even mentioned the patents that expired actually. So,
see, Bryce, we've got a guy who's got patents on our board. We're a bunch of schmucks over here.
no.
No, we're riding your coattails, Nazi.
One thing about I basically I was most of the time I was trying to find issues with ChatGPT, and I'm not willing to bet money that it is corrected now. But if you take your last name Willard, and ask like how many L's are in word Willard, and then ask it to tell you the order or the like Willard is WIL, L is like the third, right, in third letter, and then the second L is the fourth. But because we don't know how actually ChatGPT tokenizes stuff, you don't get 3 and 4. You get
wait, Nazi, hold on. What is it you want us to ask ChatGPT? Let's just do it.
Yeah, like ask how many L's are in the letter L in Willard. It'll tell you 2.
Well, isn't that the right answer?
Okay, so what is the I guess what is
where in the word Willard does L appear?
Okay, or L, yeah.
Oh, so Nazi's right. What is that?
Why?
How can it not know that?
Yeah, so we don't. Correct. So
it can recognize this picture. It can look at a picture and tell from the harness that it's from 1890, but it doesn't know how to count to 3 or 4 in the word Willard.
So it is counterintuitive for us, but we don't know how actually ChatGPT tokenizes. They don't write about these things. So simple things like that,
So Nazi, yeah, apologize. You're correct. That's great, ChatGPT. How the hell did you not know that?
Yeah. So the other thing that I know you in detail when you wrote like a few weeks ago. What was I going to say? Now it escapes me. Oh, I'm sorry. So for training, also training models, ChatGPT again does not tell you a whole lot. And you did mention that actually it uses machine learning algorithms, and that is technically true. It uses reinforcement learning with human feedback this is RLHF. And what that means is basically for the base trained model, that's the best I can explain. They do use actually humans to verify whether the answers to certain prompts are correct or not.
Yeah.
But the
Which
thing
is
is,
that's one of the reasons that Tesla's new model of true machine learning for their self-driving and the Optimus robot is so exciting, because no one's coding it, telling you how to do stuff. It's just watching and learning. So Nazi, I just posted in the chat here a YouTube video that shows the chief technology officer or somewhere like that at Spotify explaining how LLM and machine learning works. And I learned a lot in watching this particular video. I've watched a lot of videos on
did you?
lately, but
What did you? Can you post that in our Slack channel, please?
Sure. Someone also just mentioned a Homer coin. Yeah, that's funny. We should have had a Homer coin, Simpsons coin.
Yeah.
All right,
So
I'm
let me
going to
tell
Slack.
one. Yeah, please post it. One more thing. So for human feedback, training with human feedback, they're using, or they used, I don't know if they still use it or not, actually people in Kenya, because they pay up to $2 an hour for that. And
it's amazing with all of the revolution that AI can drive, that it is being in some ways created by like human labor arbitrage.
Yeah.
Go to Kenya where you can pay $2 an hour instead of Silicon Valley where it's $100 an hour. Such bullshit. So Nazi,
yeah, so for the initial, small subset. Go ahead.
I was just going to say thanks, man. We're wrapping it up. Last words, Sanatzi.
Sure.
Make them brief.
Okay.
Last
Thank
words.
you.
What do you have? You get the last word, Sanatzi.
Oh, that's really all I have. Well, now I'm going to basically look at ChatGPT, and I'm going to probably subscribe to it, because what you posted, or Bryce's experiment and your experiment is interesting, and for first time actually I'm showing real interest now.
So Nazi,
it's worth the pay.
Because of your expertise in coding and computers, etc., I would suggest you also go to Google Bard and sign up for that. I don't think you can pay for that one yet, but it's also really interesting, and it's fun to sort of prompt one and then copy and paste and prompt it in the other and see how how differentiated they are. Appreciate you, Sanatzi. Thanks everybody for watching. Peace and love, happiness. Next week we will have a presentation from a real space company. Be here or be square. Be there or be square. I don't know. Peace and love, everyone. Bye.
Bye.